Okay, well, welcome and thank you for joining us for this episode of The Mass Teacher. Today we have Ms. Naomi Fuentes from Odessa High School. Ms. Fuentes, show us who's behind the mask. Take it off. Take
Woo!
it off.
I can breathe.
Yes, definitely, right? Because you have to wear it all day long. And thank you for being here with us and sharing with us a little bit about who you are and what makes you such an amazing teacher. So, can you tell us? I just said you're from OHS. Can you tell me what you do at OHS?
Yes, I am the AVID coordinator. I teach AVID seniors, and I also teach one section of AVID sophomores. And I love AVID. It's amazing. And I've been here at OHS for 14 years, so this is my second family.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So, you've been an educator for 14 years. Did you ever teach anywhere else?
No, just OHS. I graduated from OHS, and this was like the only place I wanted to teach. So I was lucky that I got hired when I did.
Oh, I'm glad that you see yourself as lucky to be at your dream campus and you go into your profession every single day into your classroom and you're just so grateful to be there, right?
Yeah.
At your old stomping grounds. So you were a student at OHS. What kind of student were you?
Well, okay, I would say I was an average student. Not a great student, but average. And I always joke around because I have my older sister. I'm like, I was a better student than you, so that's all that matters. I was an average student. Few A's, sometimes B's, maybe a C or two, but yeah, I probably should have tried a little harder in high school. Mhm.
Okay. So, no, I mean, the transition from high school to college is a difficult one for many students, and I'm sure for you as well. Tell me, what inspired you to even try it?
Well, it's it's funny because in high school I don't remember we didn't have the same resources we have now, which it's amazing what all we can offer our kids, all of our kids. And we didn't have a college counselor. I don't remember ever being told about college. It was just something I wanted to do because, I think maybe I saw it on TV and I thought, well, I kind of want to go to college. But my parents didn't go to college. So it was kind of like they couldn't help me. They didn't know what to do. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to do it. And I figured it out. I started at OC. And so, yeah, I just kind of figured it out. But I love what we can offer our kids now. I love that we have AVID. I love that our AP and IB programs are trying to reach so many more kids. I love that about OHS. Well, about ECISD in general, we are really trying to push for our kids, all our kids. So I love that.
Thank you, Naomi. So, once you did become a teacher, what do you find was the most surprising thing about being a teacher?
The most surprising was how rewarding it is. Like, I don't ever see myself leaving. I used to be a police dispatcher. I've worked, in fast food. I've worked at the hospital delivering food. Little jobs, and they were great. But teaching, you have to have a heart for it, and you have to. It has to be a passionate. It's a calling. So I don't see myself doing anything else. Even as chaotic and crazy as it is right now, and stressful, I still feel lucky to be teaching. Every day. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's sometimes I tell my kids, I have no idea what I'm doing, so just go along with me.
We'll
And
learn together.
yes, and it's like, but it's the rewarding. It's the rewarding piece that makes me come back. That makes me feel like this is worth it. As crazy as it is, it's worth it. And that's what surprised me because I've always heard that oh, teaching's so stressful and it's a lot of work. And it totally is. But yeah, once you capture those kids' hearts, it's like, yeah, it's amazing. I love it. That's why I do it, is the kids.
Do you have a specific student story, like without saying names, where you felt that reward coming back to you?
Um, well, I have a lot, but this year, specifically this year, what I started doing was like a wellness check every week, sometimes, a week and a half, 2 weeks, just to check up on them. And I have them rank themselves, one, don't want to get out of bed, it's just a bad day, to five, awesome, doing great. And if it's three or below, they have to tell me why. And this year I was getting things like, well, how are you doing? And so it was like, oh, they're worried about me, they're worried about me too. And it was things like that you don't expect. So, and it was several kids were like, well, how are you doing? And I hope you're doing okay. And little messages like that, it was like, oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it makes you feel like they care and you care, and together you create that family. I mean, I know you're very famous for having that avid family in your classroom, and this is one way that you're doing that, even through this post COVID, or now that we're in this world that everything is upside down. You're still working on that. You're still working on building those relationships. What have you found is really different now about what you do every day?
Well, it's very different. There's a lot more struggles because usually by now, this time of year, semester's almost over. We've got those bonds and we are a family already. Like it's I feel like by now I should be closer to my kids, but there has been a shift here lately, and we are getting closer, and I can feel it. Like we're talking more, and it's different, but it's happening slowly. So I think this whole COVID thing, it's as I think you've mentioned it before, as much as technology speeds things up, when it comes to relationships in the classroom with your students, it's kind of slowing it down,
Right.
I've heard you say that. It's a struggle to build those relationships in this environment, but it's possible. It just takes a little bit more effort and intention. You have to be intentional to do it.
Yes, I agree with that. I was just talking to some teachers about being intentional about the work that we do, and focused on what we want. You have, and I've known you for many years. We've worked together in different capacities already. But I know that you have a philosophy about what you do, and you might not call it a philosophy, Naomi, but I know it is. So can you share that with all of us? Because I think it's powerful to hear you say it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a philosophy, you're right, but what I feel, teachers or any leader, they need to lead with love and having a servant heart. Like I believe that as teachers and any leader actually, you have to have a servant heart. You have to do what's best for the people you're leading. Lead by example, lead with love. And if you lead with love and you're putting the students first, then you can't really go wrong. I mean, I guess you could, but it's just
It was
it's
for
in
the
your
right
heart.
reason.
Yeah. It's in your heart. And I think that's huge. Like a leader has to lead with love and serve. So that's what I do, or I try to. I try to do that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned a while ago that you did all these odd jobs. Tell me a little bit about that journey. How did you get here?
Okay. So right after I graduated, I started OC for a couple of years. Um, that's yeah, life kind of happens and takes over. So I got married, had a baby, got divorced, and it was a struggle. And then in my mind, I always kind of knew I wanted to be a teacher. Always, I even tried getting into the medical field, but I realized I don't like blood and I don't like needles, so that was just not going to happen. But I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. So even when I tried other things, it was just not good. It wasn't there. So yeah, life happened. I actually quit school. And 6 years later, I kind of just decided, you know what? I need to do something. I need to finish what I started. So I went to UTPB, and that's where I got my bachelor's. So I was 30 when I actually graduated from UTPB. And yeah, so I was like an older college student, and I didn't have the college experience, but I always tell my students it's not how long it takes, it's that you just keep going. You don't give up no matter how long it takes, because time is going to pass anyway. So you might as well take baby steps to where you want to go.
Wow, Naomi, thank you. And I'm so glad that our students have you to keep them motivated. And as an example of that perseverance, of that not giving up and leading with love, which I love that. You were talking about teaching and leading, and, teachers are leaders, and you demonstrate that on an everyday basis. So thank you so much for being here on the Mass Teacher and showing us who Naomi is, sorry, who Miss Fuentes is behind the mask. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.